I'm Alexandra Harbushka. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to my vlog, all of that. I am a new mom. So you can see right here, I have my little son. He is 3 weeks old and I am a first-time mom, new mom. Everything is new to me. I really wanted to track my journey of my postpartum journey, weight loss. So that is something that is really sensitive. Weight in general is really sensitive to a lot of women, and how you looked before and how you looked after. It's really a sensitive topic. So that's something I want to address. Before I got pregnant and during my pregnancy, I will talk about all of that in more videos to come. But whether it's right or wrong to say, my weight was something that was always important to me. Not necessarily the weight on the scale, but just how I felt in my clothes, how I felt physically, how I felt emotionally, and exercise, nutrition was all a big part of my life. So it was definitely something I did almost every single day. I would say that I exercised about 6 days a week prior to getting pregnant, and while I was pregnant, it's something that I always did. And I definitely had a journey with my weight throughout the years, teenage to your 20s and all that. So those are some journeys I will get to, but I just want to address that, yeah, talking about your weight, talking about weight loss can trigger a lot for different people, right? Looking at yourself on a scale can trigger different things. And then watching yourself over those 40 weeks of being pregnant, you catch yourself in the mirror and you're like, oh, I look different, or I don't normally look like this. Or you see pictures of yourself in the past and you're like, oh, I looked like great. And then you wonder, how do you look now? So all that definitely does play a role. So I definitely want to address that. Right now I am 22 days postpartum. So I have a 22-day-old son, which is just wild for me to imagine. Let me just tell you a little bit about what I weighed going into the pregnancy. I weighed 120 pounds. That's usually what my body likes. I am 5'4". I'm a muscular, athletic build. So that's just what my body likes, about 120 pounds. Yeah, it changes here and there. You go on vacation, you gain a little bit, you exercise or what, you go through stressful times, you lose a little bit here and there, of course. But my body likes about 120 pounds. Throughout my pregnancy, the highest I got to was 161, but I don't really feel that's an accurate number. There was about a week before going into labor, I was just retaining water. I retained water for a couple days, and that's what I weighed at my peak. When I did go into the hospital the day that I was induced, I went in, I weighed myself prior, and I was 152. So I like to say that I gained 32 pounds. I just feel like that's a more accurate number, but I definitely got up to 161, which was emotionally just a little bit challenging to see on the scale. I will say my husband was super supportive. Every time I would come back from weighing myself, I would say, oh, I'm whatever. And he's like, that's just perfect. That's exactly the perfect weight for you. So I definitely have a really supportive husband going through that weight gain, because that is something that is a little bit difficult, right? As a woman, especially, like I said, it is feeling good in my body and feeling comfortable in my clothes is something that is important to me. So that is actually very challenging to say on a YouTube video, because I know that gets a lot of criticism as saying like what you weigh or how you look is important to you. And I'm going to be honest, it is important to me. So that's something that is hard to say. I'm kind of sweating saying that, which is really interesting because I have another YouTube channel where I talk about having genital herpes, and I can talk about that till I'm blue in the face. Yet, and I don't get nervous saying that. So that is being very vulnerable for me to actually mention that I do care how I look and feel in my clothes and in my weight. Okay, so right now I'm day 22. I want to do the full 60 days of postpartum and weight loss. So let me just give a quick little recap about the first 22 days. So when you go into the hospital, you are not allowed to eat, right? So you're like, oh my gosh, I'm in labor and I can't eat. So I was in labor for 2.5 days. that's another story. I was in labor 2.5 days. They did give me one meal, which was breakfast. I did eat my husband's breakfast, which he went to Starbucks, and it looked way better than what I was given at the hospital food. So my point in telling you this, after I delivered Clinton, I was famished. Like, I was so hungry. We brought hospital snacks to the hospital. I was eating popcorn. I was eating nuts. I was eating whatever I could get like hands on to try and just feel my body. It did take a couple of days. Like, you're in this absolute high of, I just had a baby, the adrenaline. You just like, you're trying to regulate, you're thirsty, you're hungry, all these things. In the hospital, I would say, I had French fries for breakfast and I went with it, something I would never do. I had French fries and a burrito, but you're just so hungry postpartum. That delivery is like a marathon. You're just so hungry and you're just trying to replenish. The first couple days of coming home, it took me a while mentally to be okay with eating more. I am breastfeeding. And so they say, oh, breastfeeding burns up to 500 calories. So I am eating. I did eat more the first couple weeks of Clinton's life, but you're just trying to you're so tired, you're starving, you don't know what day it is. We have dear friends who are Italian, so they were dropping off amazing pasta dishes. My husband and I had a great time eating them, but it was like pasta every dinner. I was trying to eat as healthy as I could during the day. And I just had to go with it and say, don't worry about what you're eating, just eat what feels good. I tried to go with the whole thing of, what is your body craving? Because right now it's all about feeding him, not your body. It's not about looking great in a bikini walking out of the hospital, right? I definitely had challenges breastfeeding him. That's another video that I will talk about. Right now we're just talking about weight loss. So yeah, I would say, and I would wake up in the middle of the night and like these little nuts that I have right here, these are the Trader Joe nuts. I would go through like 2 packs a night when I'd breastfeed because I was so hungry. With that being said, I have lost 17 pounds in 22 days. So weight did come off. I was induced, which means they pump you with Pitocin. So I was pumped with Pitocin for basically 2.5 days. I will say, I don't know what I weighed coming out, but I will say I was bigger leaving the hospital than when I went in because of the water retention that the Pitocin causes. So like my feet were so swollen, they could barely fit in my shoes. My hands were swollen. My legs were swollen. There was inflammation. It was so funny. I went to put on my jammies after giving birth to Clinton and like they didn't fit. And it was so weird because I tried them on before going in the hospital and they fit. And it was just all the water retention. So I'd say the first week, 2 weeks, it was a lot of water retention loss that was just coming off. It was just water retention, water retention. Now in this 3rd week, I realized we just hit 3 weeks. So at the end of 2 weeks, I was like, okay, I know I'm burning 500 calories-ish breastfeeding, but it still is a calories in, calories out, right? I don't count calories. I go more based on healthy food, but I did realize I'm not exercising. So I exercise every single day. I burn lots of calories exercising. I don't really, I guess, like I said, I don't count them, but I'm like, okay, so I'm eating more than I've ever eaten in my life. I'm only burning an additional 500 calories. There has to start to be a balance. So I'd say the last 2 or 3 days, I started looking at what I was eating and what I wasn't eating. And I had to determine, am I eating because I'm bored and because I can, or am I eating because I'm hungry? Still at the end of the day, it is, energy in, energy out. I don't really care what else you're thinking about, right? So like I mentioned, one of the things, I was eating those nuts in the middle of the night, and I was eating 4 packs of nuts a night or a day, at least 4 packs. Again, I'm not counting calories, but I wanted to look at it. And so I looked at the nutrition facts. That's an additional 1,000 calories a day. Now, at the time, my body can afford it because I needed all that extra going in. I could eat all the pastas and things. But I looked at it and thought, okay, if my body needs it, it needs it. But does it really need it? Or am I just eating it because I'm bored or I think I need it? So the last couple of days, I've kind of cut back on my snacking and looking at what I've been eating. and just trying to assess, again, am I bored and eating it because I think I can, or am I eating it because I'm hungry? So I'm down to 2 packs of nuts. And last night I tried not to have one during the night, during my night feeding. I woke up absolutely famished and like I could eat my arm off. So tonight, when I do Clinton's, midnight 1 a.m. feeding, I will see how I feel. And if I am hungry, I'm going to allow myself that. Anyways, I will continue to talk through this over the total of 60 days. I think it's really important that we go through this 60 days. You don't want to lose weight overnight. That's not healthy. That's not fair. That's not, it's all about lifestyle, and it's all about maintaining. I definitely yo-yoed in the past, and it wasn't until I found a system that really worked for me in the last, I'd say, 2 years. So again, I will get into that over these next couple of days. Again, this is a 60-day journey, and we're 22 days in. So that is my recap on the first 22 days. I have lost 17 pounds. It has been fun to see it change, see my body change so rapidly. It took 40 weeks to put it on, and it just kind of went like little by little, but it has been fun to watch in 17 days your body just change and go back. I will share what I'm doing, what I'm eating, how I feel. I will share my exercise. I'm trying to do a little bit of exercise. I will share all of that daily. It'll be different topics, and it'll also be topics about, my personal journey with my weight, talking about being a teenager to being pregnant to postpartum. It'll be what type of nutrition plan I do follow, and is that going to work for me during postpartum? I don't know. Like I said, I don't count calories. Maybe that's something I'll need to start doing. I'm not really sure yet as this journey continues. So stay tuned. I got my sleeping baby right here. Stay tuned. This is day 1 through 22, and can't wait to see you in the next one. There are you can leave me comments down below. Definitely leave comments. Let me know what you think. I love to hear if this triggers anything for you or inspires you, or how you feel about weight loss in general and your postpartum journey. Also, if you need more information, go to alexandraharbushka.com. That is where I have more information on all this. And I'll see you soon on day 23. Can't wait. Bye, guys.